they take reference of Google, YouTube,
Yes.
LoveJan. In fact, the website of a university, some YouTube channel, some influencer.
So, welcome back to University Podcast series. So, today we have a special guest, Mr. Azad Ali, who is a head of admissions with Shiv Nadar University, Delhi NCR campus. Sir, we would extend a very warm welcome to you for coming to our
Thank you.
studio and coming for this podcast series.
Thank you very much.
So, sir, we have heard a lot about Shiv Nadar, and viewers also want to know a lot about Shiv Nadar University. It is an institution of eminence that we all know. But how many of us have an idea that what do you mean by institution of eminence? So, we'll go back to Azad sir. Sir, how would you explain this institution of eminence tag that Shiv Nadar has, and also give us some idea about Shiv Nadar University and its programs?
Thank you so much for inviting me, Lav sir, for this wonderful podcast session. Shiv Nadar Institution of Eminence became the Institution of Eminence in 2022, wherein the university started in 2011. So we have been the youngest university which when awarded this status of Institution of Eminence.
Okay.
So Institution of Eminence is like one of the highest standard to an institution in India given by the government of India. And the objective is to create world-class education and the leaders for the country.
Okay.
Most of the time what happens, the students goes to the top institutions like IITs and other institutions, and they travel abroad, and so the government of India thought about creating a world-class institution in the country instead of to retain the best talented pool of students in the country itself.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the idea behind this. And out of these 12 institution of eminence,
Okay.
The Shiv Nadar became the youngest one.
Okay.
And we are based out of Greater Noida. That's a Delhi NCR. Being the institution of eminence, it gives a lot of freedom and privilege to the university. We get a lot of freedom to recruit world-class faculty members across the globe.
Okay.
We also have benefit of creating a different kind of and transparent admission process. Additionally, we get a lot of privilege and liberty to recruit faculties with the industry background,
Okay.
with kind of credentials that the industry need. A lot of industry professionals that we have across the world. We travel to different part of the world, and where we get the faculty members. It also gives us a freedom to make the changes in the curriculum.
Okay.
Yeah, being the institution of eminence, the government has given us a freedom.
So you don't have to take approvals of UGC to
Yeah,
change your
so
curriculum.
in most of the cases, you work on creating your own curriculum, and that gives us mileage to students as well,
Yes.
where you can customize your curriculum.
Correct. Correct.
This is required because you see how the economic conditions are globally, and technology changes every 6 months,
Absolutely.
and that is what is required, that the universities must change the curriculum.
Absolutely.
And through this institution of eminence status, we have been able to create a globally compatible curriculum. So our programs are fetching the attention across the top universities, whether you talk about MIT, Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, and the top institutions in USA and other European countries. So the course structure and the curriculum that has been created by Shiv Nadar University, being the institution of eminence, it is at par with the top institutions worldwide.
Great.
In most of the cases, it also helps us to identify and maintain the one of the finest student and faculty ratio.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are a 300-acre campus,
Okay.
and we have a capacity to enroll thousands of
So
students.
it is as good as IITs, those who have
It
this
is.
kind
It
of
is.
campuses.
In fact, yes.
Right.
So, being the one of the biggest campus in NCR as of now, and one of the greenest campus as well,
Okay.
we have capacity to enroll many and many students. But our founder, Mr. Shiv Nadar, whose vision is to create world-class leaders from the Shiv Nadar University. We have restricted ourselves with not more than 1,000 students in a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are particular about it.
All right.
And we always focus to get best out of these students coming in to study at Shiv Nadar University, Institution of Eminence. So currently our student faculty ratio is 1:11. You will be surprised to know.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1:11.
It's such a vast institution, and it is
Exactly.
you're maintaining 1:11.
Yes.
It's not easy. Like,
Yeah.
right.
So this is one of the criteria to be to maintain the requirement given by the government of India that you
Right.
should have one of the finest student faculty ratio.
Okay.
And across the Asia Pacific, if you talk about, there are very few institutions of such repute who are able to maintain this student and faculty ratio. Being the private institution, it's not easy.
It's
I'm
not
sure you
easy
know
at
this.
all. I can understand.
Yeah. So a lot of privilege, and being an alumni of Shiv Nadar University, whenever you go out of the campus, your credentials, your degree and certificate always carry a weightage where it is written that you are an alumni of Institution of Eminence, one of the most reputed institutions. So you can say we are part of the most 12 elite institutions in the country.
Yes.
And when any student goes out of Shiv Nadar University, whether in the corporate world or for a higher education in India and abroad, they always been given preference.
All right.
They always given weightage when they come with this such kind of reputed credentials.
So Azad sir, like the kind of systems you have in Shiv Nadar, I'm sure you are very selective as far as picking students is concerned. So what are the parameters that you have kept for students to get selected into Shiv Nadar?
Yeah. So for different program, we have for every program there is a specific requirement. I'm sure you know.
I can understand.
People who want to get into the programs like computer science and engineering, physics, chemistry, mathematics, international relations, design, BMS, biotechnology. So every program has their evaluation process.
All right.
And when a student plan to join Shiv Nadar University, they must have to come prepared because they are joining one of the best institutions in the country.
And I think you have a very less or very low acceptance rate.
Very low.
So let's say if 100 people are applying, I think only 10 people would be able to get, or maybe even lesser than that.
Lesser than that.
Lesser than that.
In some of the program,
So
it's very less.
So it would be really tough to crack, the entrance exam or maybe the entire selection process of Shiv Nadar. So can you throw some light on the selection process? Because till now we have been knowing about examinations like SAT or SNU SAT that student has to prepare for, and then even go for interviews in some of the courses. So if you can throw some light on the selection process.
Absolutely. So this year in 2025, we have made some changes in our entrance examination. So people who are preparing for getting into Shiv Nadar University, for them, it is very important to understand and know.
Yes, I think we should note these things because this is something which is very important for you to know what is the new selection process that Shiv Nadar has evolved. And I think this is for the first time we are talking in this podcast about a new selection process.
Yes.
So sir, please do tell us about this.
Absolutely. So this year Shiv Nadar University has changed the pattern of our test paper. So if any student looking for admission, so there are multiple routes to get admission into Shiv Nadar University, Delhi NCR. So suppose if you want to join any engineering program, then you must have to have one of the route is your joint entrance examination, that JEE Mains. We accept a year older score as well for 2024 as well as 2025 latest score.
Okay.
And different courses in the engineering has different cutoff.
Yeah.
So that is, you can get to connected with a counselor.
Okay.
And they will help you out to understand.
Sure.
But the second best advised route is our own entrance test, which is Shiv Nadar University Scholastic Aptitude Test.
Yes.
And one of the most toughest entrance examination in the country. Let me give you this idea.
Okay.
So if any student planning to write this SNU-SAT, they must have to work really hard.
Okay.
So this year we will be assessing these students on two different parameters.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are, one is SNU-SAT.
Okay.
This is applicable to all our programs.
All right.
But for engineering, there is a academic proficiency test attached to this SNU-SAT.
Okay.
So we will check your quantitative ability.
All right.
And we will check your logical reasoning
Okay.
in the SNU-SAT portion.
Okay.
And we will assess your skills in the physics and mathematics
Okay. So,
if you planning to
alright.
go for engineering kind
Okay.
of program.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is
subject
the
proficiency. will
yeah
play a
academic
major role.
subject
Okay.
proficiency. You have to prove yourself,
Demonstrate yourself.
demonstrate your skills in the maths and
Test.
physics if you
Okay.
want to join any
Hmm.
engineering program.
Right.
So syllabus is available if
Yeah.
if any student who is looking for
Yeah.
and want to know what kind of questions, what kind of syllabus
will
be, they can reach out to our counselors
Okay.
and they will definitely get a
Get
proper
the- okay.
guidance.
Hmm.
But in case you're looking to apply, whenever you filling up the application form, you will be asked to select the route that you want to get
Okay.
into. And basis on that, if you select SNU-SAT on the application portal, you will be receiving a sample question paper.
Okay.
That will help you to prepare and understand
Okay.
the kind of questions that you may
Okay.
be
Okay.
seeing. The third best route is the scores achieved from the College Board SAT.
Hmm.
The College Board SAT score is taken by every department,
Okay.
whether you talk about design, whether you talk about engineering. So everybody takes the College Board SAT exam
Okay.
route. So if you're planning to, if you have already given the SAT exam, you must reach out to the counselor and they will advise you what kind of cutoffs that we have
Okay.
for SAT score.
Mhm.
But let me help you to understand
Okay.
one of the highest SAT scores Shiv Nadar University considers.
Okay.
Yeah. So in India, as of now, one of the highest score that we have taken is 1480 and above.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that is as good as actually applying to a Ivy League
Ivy League
university
institution, yes,
internationally,
international.
because students generally have to score above 1450. So that is the, I think, similar criteria you need to maintain
Yes,
in
yes.
case you have to get into Shiv Nadar University
Exactly.
with SAT or College Board
Absolutely,
SAT.
absolutely, yeah. And then ACT and we have
Okay.
students come through
Okay.
CUET as well. Those who
Okay.
come towards the end of the admission session,
Okay.
and if we have the seats available,
That
we
is
do
only
consider.
subject to if the seats are
Seats are
available,
available.
then only
Then only
it will be
we
offered.
open that window
Okay.
for the CUET
So
aspirants.
I think largely 80 to 90% seats might have already been filled before CUET gets into picture, because CUET comes
much
very
before
late.
that, yeah, much before that. Yeah.
Okay.
So like last year, we have closed our 90% seats were 90% programs.
Okay.
In fact,
Okay.
the seats were filled by end of May.
End of May. Okay. So
Yeah.
you cannot wait till the results of CUET that comes very late in August. Sometimes.
It is not actually advised.
Yeah,
sir.
it is not advised.
Yeah, to wait, because
Yeah.
our cutoffs normally change after
So how
every
good
cycle.
it is like for the student to apply in the early cycle? Let's say if a student, you mean to say if a student applies into early cycle, they would definitely have an advantage, because the seats would keep declining
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
the phases that are
Absolutely,
going
yeah.
to come.
So every program has some fixed number of seats. BMS and engineering being the highest,
Hmm.
and programs like design, English, international relation, biotechnology, they have a very limited number of seats
Right.
because they require a lot of labs or infrastructure support.
Hmm.
So it is always advised
Okay.
that you should always prefer to get into the early
Hmm.
admission cycle. And importantly, for those who don't know about this, this year our entrance exam, SNU-SAT, is happening
Okay.
on a very fixed dates. It is not a
Okay.
rolling process as earlier.
Like it used to be like a test window where you could select on any day you could have taken the SAT or
Yeah.
SNU SAT. Now
It
I
is
think
going
it
to be
is
on a very fixed day. Yes.
So one particular day,
One particular.
everybody has to select that day. Means
Yes.
you'll get only that day.
Only
you
one
have
day.
You have to clear your
Exactly.
entrance on that day.
Exactly.
Itself. Okay.
So this year our first early admission entrance exam is happening on 5th of January. Second is happening on phase 2 is happening on 8th of February and 6th of April, the third one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is that if you're looking for admission to Shiv Nadar University's all these programs, because of the restrictions in the number of seats, it is always suggested that you should choose the early admission cycle.
Okay.
And because the cutoff will definitely change. As soon as our seats are reducing, the cutoff will go high. So to avoid that, it is always suggested that you should choose phase 1 or phase 2 or not later than phase 3.
Okay. So is Shiv Nadar a liberal university? Like, you have so many liberal universities. You have Ashoka, you have Kriya, and you have Shiv Nadar, Plaksha, other universities. So how we are slightly different, or what is the USP, unique thing about Shiv Nadar University?
So we are not a liberal arts university at all.
Okay.
We have not labeled ourselves as a liberal
Okay.
arts university, but we have labeled ourselves as the research university.
Research university. Okay.
So if you go through all our programs, they all are the research programs.
I think 4 years program.
All 4 years.
We don't have 3 years program like a normal university offers.
Not at all.
Okay.
So Shiv Nadar University, the only university in the country which have been, since the inception, we have started this 4-year undergraduate degree, and there is no exit.
Okay, there is no exit.
There is no exit. Yeah. So being the research program, whether you talk about BSc research in biotechnology, so all the BSc research program. We labeled ourselves as a research university. Yeah. So this is one of the best part. The government of India is investing a lot of money and creating the research institutions, because research India has always been far behind as compared to other US and European institutions in terms of research. But now, because the government is focusing more on research and they are providing a lot of infrastructure support, financial support to the government institutions to build that research infrastructure. The university itself, our Chancellor Mr. Shikhar Malhotra and our Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Ananya Mukherjee, both of them come with the elite background in terms of education, and they are internationally trained as well. So they understand the value of research.
I can understand.
So research is one of our unique thing.
Okay.
So the kind of labs, epigenetics lab you talk about, or you talk about the Dassault System Center for Design. So these are one of the unique options available, unique research centers available across the country. You will be surprised to know our Dassault System Lab is we are the only university who has this Dassault System Lab in the country. It's one of the achievement. And we are also the university which hosts a supercomputer in the campus to give exposure to our students.
Okay.
So, so USPs are many. So the important is if you're looking for a research career, Shiv Nadar University will be the wonderful place that you to choose.
So these days, like a lot of universities talk about holistic development. How do you ensure a student being holistically trained? Let's say a student who has interest into maybe arts, maybe performing arts, and student who has equal interest into technology. So how do they build their entire personality by being part of Shiv Nadar?
Yeah. So you're right. Today's the students, when the parents are more curious and they look for an institution like which can give them a 360-degree development, whether you talk about studies or their self-development. So being the fully residential campus, Shiv Nadar University is fully boarding.
Fully residential, okay.
Yeah. So and this is one of the advantage for all the students and parents. We are one of the most safest campus in the country.
Correct.
And we have built this infrastructure where the labs are open till midnight.
Oh, okay.
And we provide the electricity support, AC, Wi-Fi, security, everything that we provide. If you have willingness to use our laboratories the entire night, we will give you entire support.
Okay, that's great.
And apart from that, we have 35 plus clubs and society in the campus. And every student is encouraged to become a member of these clubs and societies. And a lot happens every day in the university where students are encouraged to participate in the cultural events, academic events, a lot of academic events. And these are driven by students itself.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so faculties are there to support them, but
Mhm.
these all clubs and
So, but
societies are
driven
managed,
by students.
led, and driven by the student itself.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And most of the events normally happens on the weekend, so that they could come out of that 17, 15, 16 hours of a study, and they can just rejuvenate themselves by participating into musical events
Okay.
and a lot of other extracurriculum and
Activities
curricular
are there.
activities they can. Yeah.
Mhm.
Additionally, I would like to emphasize here, the university gives you leverage to choose your major and minor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, if you, for example, if you choose your major as in the physics, BSc Research in Physics, you will have opportunity to choose your minor in the music,
Oh, all right. Okay.
or
Okay.
minor maybe in the computer
So
engineering.
it is interdisciplinary in nature.
Completely interdisciplinary.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it gives you opportunity to go for a minor program in product and system design.
Mhm. Wonderful.
So the industry needs the multidisciplinary students these days. The time has changed. The students coming out with the vanilla degree, vanilla qualification,
Correct. Correct.
today later on they will have some issues, because
Absolutely.
the industry is changing, because their consumer is changing, the demand is changing, so the companies, the corporate want to
Yeah, we
hire.
have to prepare them for an uncertain world.
Exactly.
Obviously, like
And
this is
this major and minor, and you also, if you don't want to, because minor gives you 18 credit of your course, 75% is for your major,
okay.
and remaining 25% is divided
Minors.
into two parts.
Okay.
You declare your minor, you take one minor program which is spread across your second year, third year, and fourth year
Okay.
for 18 credits, and there are some mandatory courses that somebody need to take.
Okay.
Yeah, so one is core common curriculum, and there's the university-wide electives.
All right.
Yeah, so this increases your horizon.
I can understand.
When
yes,
you
yes, yes. You have
study.
multiple things to do in a campus. If you think about arts, and you think about joining technology with that, that is quite possible in
Absolutely.
this current new age education which is
Absolutely.
happening.
Absolutely.
So Shiv Nadar is definitely leading into these circumstances.
Yeah,
So it is a change maker, I would say. It is disrupting
we
the
are.
education
We are.
scenario, and people are learning out of this model. Like, this is the way university should run.
Yeah.
And sir, I would also like to know, because when we talk about so many things into a larger university, a big university, we also have to understand how it is adjusting upon inclusivity, how it is answering inclusivity of, let's say, tier 2 cities or tier 3 cities, people, and affordability among the masses, and the maybe scholarships that you offer to the students.
Yeah.
So if a deserving candidate is there, and doesn't has that deep pockets to finance himself or herself, how does Shiv Nadar helps them to come into a mainstream and grow their career?
Recently, you must have heard about this news where Mr. Shiv Nadar has been
He is
declared
himself
as
a philanthropist.
philanthropic. Yes. So one of the biggest philanthropist, in fact, he is donating almost rupees 6 crore per day.
Yes,
You can understand. So the idea is not to run a business machine. The idea is to empower most of the people who are deserving.
Correct.
So the Shiv Nadar University, Delhi NCR, is offering multiple scholarship for
Okay.
every strata. If you, so we have merit scholarship.
Okay.
Any student comes with the 95% marks in class 12.
Okay.
We award them 25% flat scholarship across 4 years on their
Okay.
tuition fee.
Okay, all 4 years.
All 4 years.
Generally, it is seen it is only for the first year or so.
Normally
but
they
here
say,
it's-
because if you are a 95% scorer,
yeah,
you are not an ordinary person.
but a student who gets 95% does gets a direct admission, or you have to still clear the entrance exam and all.
Entrance
Go
exam
through-
is mandatory
it
for
is
everybody.
mandatory. Okay.
There is no exemption.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
everybody has to go through the same admission process.
So despite 95%, you have to clear the selection process.
100%.
Then you get eligible for the scholarship if you
Yes.
get selected.
Yes.
Okay.
We have also introduced one scholarship last year, that is school topper scholarship.
Okay.
So any students come with 98% marks in their class 12 board, and they are declared by the school principal that this student is a topper of the school,
Top.
we award them 50% scholarship on their tuition fee for the
Wonderful.
entire 4 year.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, and apart from that, we have low income
Category also.
background students, those who come with students from government schools,
Okay.
from NGO
So
schools.
economically weaker section,
Yeah.
you try to maybe cover them
Yes,
also.
yes, we offer them up to 100% scholarship.
Up to 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So every year, the numbers are growing. When we have introduced this school topper scholarship, it was a buzz around in these schools that Shiv Nadar University is offering the 50% scholarship, which is not easy. I'm
It's
sure
not
you
easy
know.
at all. Yes. I can-
But the courses are also not that very expensive if you compare to the kind of level of education that we are delivering. There is expenses are involved. I'm sure the cost is involved.
I can understand.
Yeah. So a lot of scholarships that we offer. We have a sports scholarship. We offer up to 100% tuition fee waiver to our students who come with the
Background of
yeah,
some
at international
national
level,
importance,
state level,
Okay.
national level,
Okay.
even CBC cluster and
Okay. If
zones.
they're winners or
Yeah,
something,
we
so
offer
they
them.
do get these.
Yeah, we offer them a scholarship.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, and also being the top woman leader, our
Okay.
Professor Vice Chancellor, Professor
Okay.
Dr. Nana
Okay.
Mukherjee, she has started an initiative last year where she is trying to attract more female students in the technology area.
Oh, okay. Because the ratio is really bad there.
Really
because
bad, yeah.
We have seen almost 90% male-dominated area as
Yeah.
far as technology is concerned,
Correct.
but now things are changing.
Yes. So we have declared few of the dedicated scholarship for women in technology.
Okay.
We are trying to encourage and motivate the female students to join the non-conventional programs
Okay.
in the engineering area, maybe mechanical engineering, civil
Okay.
engineering,
Okay.
electrical and computer engineering,
Yes. Yes.
because most of them get into computer science.
Yeah,
because-
engineering people by default understand computer science as far as
Yes.
IT is concerned, but you have
Yes.
great opportunities coming up into new age areas like
Right.
mechatronics. If you include electronics and mechanical maybe
Yes.
together, or you do something into design or robotics or electronics.
Yes.
So you have a lot of verticals into these areas
Absolutely.
also, and we need to promote women, especially to
Yes.
get into such areas as well.
Right. So one of the noble initiative taken by our Vice Chancellor, and we have seen people are talking about it. We do a lot of women-centric events in the university, and because we are a part of a billion-dollar company, HCL Technologies, and our workforce is carrying a lot of percentage of women in the industry.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is to empower everybody, whoever has a talent. The Shiv Nadar Foundation and Shiv Nadar University is always welcoming them and making them to shine at the global platform.
Wonderful, wonderful. So it is great, sir. I have been knowing you personally for so long, and I could see like you have been from that era when digitalization was not there. So what is the change you see now from that manual era to a technical era? So great Azad sir in front of us. So I think I should ask you this personal question: how have you seen this change, and how do you adapt to this
A lot
environment?
has changed, sir. A lot has changed in the last more than a decade. We have seen the kind of transition happening, and the selection of universities, especially the consumer behavior, if you say in different business world, the choices has changed. Selection criteria has changed.
Yes.
The parents have different criteria. Mother has father has a different criteria. Mother has a different criteria. Son or daughter has their own criteria. This is on combination of all their requirement. This when they sit on their dining table, they take reference of Google, YouTube,
Yes.
LoveJan. In fact, the website of a university, some YouTube channel, some influencer. So they take, they are influenced by so many parameters, so many mediums, which was not there in that 20 years ago when we started all this. And there was no outreach. There was very limited options to understand about particular university or particular program.
Yes.
And a lot has changed. And sometimes it is very difficult for us because everybody is doing the same thing. Because when you jump into this internet.
Yes.
It is an ocean of information,
Yes, yes,
and what
yes.
is good, what is bad, students hardly understand.
You
So
get more confused when you go to
exactly,
internet.
and that is where your role comes into.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the kind of work that you're doing, and people like you will definitely help, are required actually to form any decision of joining any institution or choosing any career. So a lot has changed, and the technology helps a lot, but it has also create a lot of confusion in the
I
minds of the
definitely
students and
understand.
parents.
Yeah,
So manual intervention is definitely required,
definitely required.
where we people fit into,
Yes, yes, yes,
and
yes.
guiding our students and parents.
So it
Yeah,
was wonderful talking to you, sir. You have spared very valuable time out of very
my
busy,
pleasure.
schedules that you already have, and we shall remain grateful to you for coming for this podcast. And we'll continue doing more university podcast series. So keep looking into this session. So this is for information to all the students and parents that Shiv Nadar University has already begun its application forms. So you can go to its website and start applying. Thank you.